Peace, 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 love, light, and healing. Peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the gods. Peace to the earth. How y'all doing? Y'all climb on in. Climb on in. Climb on in. Been getting a whole lot of emails, whole lot of phone calls, whole lot of DMs, whole lot of inboxes. And man, our people is just riddled with cancer, man. I mean, cancer after cancer after cancer. So, I think it's very, very good and knowledgeable for us to, talk about cancer at least, once a month, because it is chewing through our people and it is eating away at humanity, man. And, it's very unfortunate, but this is what we're dealing with in these times. We're in the age of high technology. We're in the age of 5G radiation. We're in the age of GMO crops, GMO foods. We're in the age of everything is electrical, outlets through the house, electrical furniture. We're in the age of Wi-Fi. We're in the age of chemtrails. We're in the age of these so-called inoculations or vaccinations. I mean, we're in the age of messed up food, and we're just living in this acidic environment, So as long as you're going to live in this acidic environment, there's going to always be a reaction to it. So we see cancer popping up everywhere, especially in the youth, man. And it's disheartening and it's sick at the same time. But, this is not a death sentence, y'all. You do not have to die from this so-called disease. It can most definitely be healed. You just have to understand the body, and you have to understand balance, and you have to understand for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. You just can't walk around in this life and do what you want to do to nature and violate the laws of nature, and you think nothing will come from it. Everything you do, every thought that you manifest, everything that comes forth from your mouth, everything you put in your body, everything that you put on your body, there is going to be a reaction from it. You see that? There's going to be a reaction from it. So we have to make sure that we're putting the right things in our body. We have to make sure that we are in the right environments. We're around the right people. We are entertaining the right conversations, because all these things have a toll and an effect on our body and on the cells of our body. To truly, truly start to understand what cancer is, you have to get down to a cellular level. And I tell y'all all the time that the body is made of 150 trillion cells. Out of 150 trillion cells that makes up the body, 100 trillion cells belong to something called the microbiota, or what we call microbes, or what we call single cell organisms. Them other 50 trillion cells is made up of minerals and stuff like that. The 150 trillion cells that make up the microbiota, 100 trillion cells that make up the microbiota, they interact with the 50 trillion cells, and this is how your body get the enzymic processes. This is how your body is able to convert minerals over. Like, for instance, you have B12. B12 is a cobalt derivative. In order for B12 to actually convert into cobalt, in order for cobalt to and its constituents to actually be able to convert into the vital mineral B12, is by way of the bacteria that makes up your body. Well, these bacterias, they need to eat. The microbiota needs to eat. And unfortunately, due to your taste buds, the microbiota can't handle the food that we've been putting in it. We're talking about prokaryotic cells. We're talking about single cell organisms that make up who you are. So your body is made of 150 trillion cells. These cells then make up organs. These organs then make up systems. And then this system makes up a full-grown human being. I can't explain it enough that all of your cells are made up of bacteria, single cell organisms, prokaryotic cells. So when you're eating food, you're not feeding yourself. You are feeding your cells. And you have to feed the cells that make up your body. You have to feed them the right food. And we're talking about single prokaryotic cells. They cannot eat complex amino acid structures. They cannot eat complex sugars. They cannot eat starch. They cannot eat flesh and meat. They cannot eat these things. And when you start feeding them these things, they will mutate. And when they mutate, they become parasites, and then they love these things. You see what I'm saying? So let me show you how the body works. Again, I'm gonna keep saying this because I want y'all to really get this into your subconscious mind. The body is made of 150 trillion cells. Each cell have something called an organelle system. Organelle system mean that they have organs, they have biology like you, they have blood like you, they have lymph like you, they need oxygen like you, they need CO2 constituents, carbon and oxygen like you, they need carbon dioxide like you. Everything that's inside of your full macro body, your cells, which is 150 trillion of them, that's called the microbiota, they have these things called micro. So if you eat something and you have a mucus response, that means when your cells eat something, they have a mucus response. When you eat something and you need the glucose and the fructose to get adenosine triphosphate to burn this fuel for energy, that means the cells have to eat these things to turn it into glucose and fructose to get adenosine triphosphate to turn it into energy for you can live your everyday life. So we have to realize that when we are eating things, our bodies is breaking these things down into micros. And what's happening is the bacteria is then taking these micros, it's breaking them down more, and then it's bringing them to the blood capillaries. Once the food or the nutrients, or what we're going to call phytonutrients, bioflavonoids, biophotons, curcumin, whatever we want to call these healing modalities or these healing constituents, it then goes inside of the bloodstream, and the blood whole purpose of the body is to be the kitchen. And the kitchen, what I mean by that is it feeds the cells its goodies. It gives the cells its oxygen. It gives the cells its CO2 constituents. It gives the cells all the phytonutrients, all the vital minerals it needs. Well, if you're eating things that are not full of these things that I'm just talking about, then you're just feeding your cell crap. And this crap is mucus and acidic forming foods. So you're feeding the cells acid. Do y'all know what acid does to the body? Have y'all ever seen battery acid poured out on the concrete? It will burn a hole through it. Acid is gnarly in chemistry. Acid burns. Acid destroys things. See that's the acid side of chemistry. We need to be on the alkalinity side of chemistry when it comes to these things, because when you live in an acid, you burn up, and this burning, it sucks all the oxygen out of the cells, and then it mutates the cells. This mutated cells is what you call cancer. So there's no such thing as really the word cancer. All cancer is a damaged cell. The body is made of damaged cells, but it's a system that works inside of the body to get rid of the damaged cells, and that is called the lymphatic system. Whenever you're dealing with tissue, you're dealing with cells and you're dealing with two fluids. If you're dealing with the brain, you're dealing with cells and you're dealing with two fluids. If you're dealing with your fingernails, you're dealing with your fingers, you're dealing with cells and you're dealing with two fluids. If you're dealing with the liver is built and made off of cells, and there's two fluids that surround the cells. If you're talking about the spleen is built off of cells, and there's two fluids that surround the cells. Now, the first fluid is called blood. So what the blood is in control of, as I told y'all before, the blood is actually in control of feeding the cells oxygen, and not only feeding the cells oxygen, but feeding the cells all the goodies that you eat when you break down your food. Or if you're eating bad things, it's going to feed the cells bad things. You see what I'm saying? Then you have another fluid of the body, which is 75 times bigger than the system that I'm talking about, and that is called the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is the biggest fluid system of your body. The lymphatic system is the sewage system. It's called the interstitial organ of the body. This is your sewage system. These lymphatic fluid is connected, and it runs through something called lymph vessels. The lymph vessels are connected to something called the septic tanks of the body, or what we call lymph nodes. Inside these lymph nodes, you have a different type of microbiota. You have a different type of bacteria that is actually made to chew up gnarly acids and break down dead cells, where you can then pee or urinate these things out, or defecate these things out through the colon, or you can perspire these things out by sweating. What causes cancer is this. Cancer is nothing but the cell being depleted of its oxygen. Once the cell is depleted of 66% of its oxygen, the cells begin to mutate. It goes through a process called cellular mitosis. Once it goes through a process called cellular mitosis, then the cells are smart enough to start killing themselves, for it won't affect the rest of the body. So then it puts itself into something called cellular apoptosis, like apocalyptic, apocalypse, and this is when things die. So the cell will kill itself before it damages another cell. Now let me show you what happened. If you eat something that is mucus forming, or if you eat something that's going to stimulate the mucosa membrane. The mucosa membrane is a part of the cholesterol base. The mucosa membrane is actually a part of your lymphatic system. If there was a such thing as an immune system, it's a part of the lymphatic system, because the T cells come from your thymus gland. Your thymus gland acts as a big lymph node, plus it acts as a school to your T cells or your thymus gland blood cells. That's a part of the lymphatic system. Your bone marrow is actually a part of the lymphatic system. This is what called the B cells. Your lymphocytes that rolls around the lymph vessels looking for invaders. Your phagocytes roll around between the blood and the lymph looking for foreign chemistry, acids, and invaders. Your macrophages is bacteria that's actually live in colonies inside the lymph nodes that eat acids and that breaks down things that's not supposed to be there, like dead blood cells, dead blood corpuscles, acid cells, cells that's not acting right, cells that's not being activated, sickle cells, cells that's not having this right amount of oxygen. These things live inside of the sewage system, and these is what's breaking down the food to get rid of your garbage. The same way if you see the trash man is the lymphatic vessels, and it comes, and that's what you would call a macrophage. It comes to each individual house and it picks up the trash. Once it picks up the trash, it put the trash inside of the trash truck that we're going to call the macrophage. Inside of this macrophage, it's a mechanism that goes on that squish this trash up together. Now, once the trash gets squished up, it needs to go to the waste field. The waste field is where they drop the trash off. Then what they do, once the trash get to the waste field, they either burn it, or they put acid on it, or they bury it deep within the ground to get rid of it. Well, your lymphatic system is doing the same thing. The lymphatic system, or what we're going to call the lymph vessels, is moving all these macrophages and moving all these phagocytes throughout the thing that's surrounding each individual cell, because you eat something, and when you eat something, the body have to break it down. Once the body break it down, it goes through the blood capillaries. Once it goes through the blood capillaries, the blood then distribute these things to each individual cell of the body, for the cell can eat these things for nutrients or to rebuild themselves, because a blood cell only living for about 120 days, 4 months at the most, then it dies out and it repopulates just like every other thing in the body. But in order for it to rebuild itself righteously and balanced, it have to eat the right amount of energy, of oxygen, of CO2, and of vital minerals. So if you're eating the wrong things, this is exactly what's going to happen. And I'm going to try to stay on topic for y'all. So say if I eat a piece of meat. All right, now remember, the body is made of 150 trillion cells. 100 trillion cells that I'm talking about is actually made of these microbiota, or what we call single cell organisms, a prokaryotic cell. So they can't eat complex food. Well, a piece of flesh is complex food because it's full of polypeptides, it's full of proteins, and proteins cannot be broken down by the body because all of the digestive enzymes inside of your body is alkaline. The only one that is not alkaline is the hydrochloric acid in your stomach, and that was not made to break down meat or flesh or dairy products. That was made to break down gnarly vegetables, because vegetables is very complex in amino acids, but it's tolerant to the human body. So if you want to eat something that's complex that ain't gonna kill you, eat vegetables. Anything that's and you're not a herbivore. You're not made to eat vegetables. You're made to eat fruits. You're a frugivore. That's the most simplest food that you can eat. You see that? Now what's happening is this. You eat these acid forming foods. Say you eat that hamburger, or you eat that steak, and you chewing it. The first thing you're doing wrong is chewing it in the first place. Now you're not even chewing it right, because we have learned by the Europeans how to eat, and they eat according to their ancestry and where they come from. So they like to chew and swallow. They don't chew, they just bite and swallow. So you done took on all of these characteristics, and you're not properly chewing your food. So since you're not properly chewing your food, now the amylase, or what you would call the amylase or the trypsin, which is actually alkaline enzymes that's produced by the salivary glands or the salivary glands, can't even break down this food. Then it goes down the esophagus where mucus rapids to try to break it down more. And since it can't break it down more, the mucus or the mucosa membrane is going to keep constantly responding to try to break down these proteins, which it can't break down anyway. Then it hits the stomach. Once it hits the stomach, what happens is pepsinogen actually turns into hydrochloric hydrochloric acid, and hydrochloric acid try to break down these proteins. But remember, the hydrochloric acid is only in your stomach to break down vegetable matter, which is, it can't even break down kale. So you know it can't break down these meats and all of these different type of polypeptides and proteins. So then it lodges itself into the duodenum, where all of the absorption take place at. So now you're absorbing big particles of protein that is complex in amino acid structures that the body cannot even utilize, or the body don't need. So what happens is this protein go through a process called putrefaction. And what putrefaction is the rotting of dead cells. It's the rotting of meat. It's the rotting of something that was once living. Now, if you look out at roadkill, or if you go on the street and you see something dead and you see that rotting process taking place, putrefaction taking place, because our body is not supposed to go through putrefaction. Our body is supposed to go through something called fermentation. And that's what happens when you eat fruits and vegetables. The food ferments. It's a slow breakdown process, because the slower the food breaks down inside the duodenum, the more healing constituents that you get from the food that can go inside of the blood capillaries and actually feed the cells of the body to rebuild the cells. But you're eating the wrong things. And look, the microbiota hate these things because it's too complex for the microbiota to eat. Now remember, the microbiota is the 150 trillion cells that make up your body. You see that? So you're feeding a community, and you're feeding your community the wrong food. And this community is essential for your body, because this community is how you talk. This community is how you walk. This community is how you make your skin. This community is how you make your teeth. This community is actually what distributes what you call neuromelanin transmitters for you can communicate with your nervous system. So you're not even feeding a community the adequate amount of food or the right amount of fuel that it needs. So now the blood picks up this gnarly chemistry that is putrefying and that is rotten. Now, the moment that the body senses an invader, is going to try to balance itself. So the thing is dehydrating and its putrefaction is setting in. The first thing that's going to happen is that all the cells that have water in them, the body is going to pull the cells of its water. Now remember, the water is H2O, which is one hydrogen and two oxygen. So you're pulling the hydrogen and you're pulling the oxygen from the cells. Hydrogen is acidic, it burns. Oxygen is actually alkaline, but the oxygen is what you need inside of the cell for the cells to actually burn fuel and to operate properly. But now for the body have to compensate for all of the wrong foods that you're eating, so the body have to pull all the water from the cells to go to the area to help libate that area or liquidize that area for it can further break down. So now each cell is being deprived of its first oxygen molecule. There's many different oxygen molecules that we finna go through here. Y'all finna blow y'all mind. So now, since the body is pulling all of the water from the cells to compensate for what you've been eating, because you've been eating the wrong foods and it's been going through a state of putrefaction and drying out and dehydrating the body becomes very dehydrated. Now the organs starts to swell, because the organs are focused on breaking down this food more. All the energy that your body needs to go and do its everyday life and daily tasks, it can't do it no more, because this energy is used and being utilized for breaking down the food and used for the digestive system. So now the organs in the body starts to swell, because the organs in the body needs to compensate for more water, because you had to take all that water to give to your digestive system to help you break down the food. Not only is the organ swelling, but all of the skin and all of the cells inside of the body is lacking oxygen, because you have took hydrogen and oxygen out of the body for the food, because it's compensation. You have to remember, for every inhale, there's an exhale. For every up, there's a down. For every two, there's a one. For every out, there's an in. You see that? There is, for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. See that? So we have to get out of the disease mentality and realize what we're doing. If you violate nature, nature will violate you. If you kill an animal and eat that animal would then rot inside of your body and kill and eat you alive. It's called acidic. Acids eats things. So it's like a very, very gnarly and death cycle that we're living in. We're living in a death culture. You notice that you eat that dead animal, you eat that lactic acid, that uric acid, that carbonic acid, that phytic acid. It burns up and it eats you alive. Now check this out. So now you done broke down this food. The body done compensated for it, then poured all the water from your cells, so now your cells are dehydrated. Now the cells are actually starting to lack oxygen. This is your first sign of cancer, because if the cell doesn't have oxygen, then it can't live, because we live off the breath. We live off the Ruach HaKodesh, or what you call the Holy Spirit, or what you call oxygen. We need it because that is what we burn for fuel, for we can get energy and get signals to signal the cell, or what we're going to call the simple protein, for our body can have movement and for our body to have motion. So now all of your energy is going towards that. Not only that, now the food is finally broken down for where you can absorb it. It's not broken down for you can utilize it, just for you can absorb it. So now you absorb this food and the bloodstream picks up these complex amino acid structures, and then it drops it off into the cell. So now not only did you just eat this meat that was bad, or eat this chemistry, or this gnarly polypeptides or protein amino acid structures or protons, now your cells is eating it because it's now in the bloodstream. So now the cells just go through the same system that you just went through, and it eat these things. What happens is the cells start eating these things, and the cell is going to break it down more, and it's going to leave a glucose factor on it. Now you don't have oxygen there because the body had to compensate for it. So now this glucose turns into acid. Now this glucose begins to ferment on the cell. Now remember, the cells can't get up and walk around like you. The microbiota can't get up and walk around like you. In order for it to cleanse its poop from itself, it have a nurse, or it have a caregiver, and this caregiver is called the lymphatic system, and it brushes up against the cells and it picks up the poop, because the cells literally poop on top of themselves because they don't have legs and walk to go to the bathroom like you have the liberty of doing. So now you're stagnating your lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system is full of gunk. It is full of mucus. It's full of crystallized mucus. It's full of crystallized uric acid for all the things you use it. So now the river, or what we're going to call the interstitium of the cell of the lymphatic system, is dead, stop still. It's not moving anymore. So the cell is pooping acids on top of itself with glucose, and nothing can pick the poop up because the lymphatic system is so backed up that it's not moving, because you ain't been eating the right food all of your life, and the microbiome is sick. The microbiome is not moving the body anymore. The microbiome, or the microbiota, is not communicating with the cells of the body no more. The neurotransmitters are down. The adrenal glands are down. So now you just pooping on top of your cells, and you can't go, and your cells can't go to a toilet. Well, have you ever seen poop? Have you ever just looked at poop and what poop does? Poop attract flies. Poop attract maggots. Poop is very acidic. If you eat your poop, you will get all type of septic disease and you will die. Showing you that poop is acidic, and poop is full of all gnarly creatures, right? Now check this out. So now what happens is the acid just sits on top of the cell from the food that you've been eating, and it burns away at the cell. You already burnt the oxygen out of the cell because the cell had to compensate and pull the water from the cell to go and help you break down your food. Now the acid is on there and burning any hydrogen and oxygen, or what we're going to call water, that left on the cell is now being burnt out. Now all of the oxygen is being depleted from the cell, and guess what's being left? Glucose. Now glucose is left. Now glucose is a sugar. Y'all know what sugar does. Sugar ferments. Now sugar is fermentating on top of a cell, and you don't have nothing to utilize the energy of that fermentation. Guess what that fermentation turns into? Fungus. Did you know fungus is a bacteria? Fungus is actually a parasite. This is one of your bad parasites. Then it's a later stage of fungus that turns into mold. This is a deadly parasite. Now was this the cause of the disease, or is this an effect of eating the wrong foods? See, these parasites are effects, y'all. Now once it goes through its mold stage, mucus come in. Mucus gonna want to come and try to, crystallize mold to get mold out of the body. But you never stop, and you never take herbs. You never get on an all-fruit diet, and you never detox the body. So now what happens is, guess what? Now the parasites enter the cell. Now the parasites start eating out all of your hemoglobin in the cell. And then the parasites love fungus and all of that, so it start eating the fungus. Once it gets to eat all the glucose, they start eating the cells. It start eating all the iron, the hemoglobin out of the cells. It start eating all the constituents that make your blood carry the oxygen. Now the cell is completed of oxygen, and now it goes through cellular mitosis, where the cell doesn't have enough properties to maintain its molecular structure, so it begins to break down. This is called the division of cells uncontrollably. Now the cells is like, oh man, I don't want that. So the cell starts to kill itself, apoptosis. Now the cells begin to mutate because there's nowhere for the cells to go, because the river, or the interstitial fluid of the body, is all backed up because you've been eating trash all your life. See that? River is full. Just like the oceans is full of plastic. Just like your rivers and your lakes is full of plastic, dead boats, trash, oil, things that's not supposed to be there. How we're killing the organism in the cell that we call Earth, we're doing the same thing to our bodies. So now you have a river or you have a lymphatic system full of trash. It's like a damn beaver dam and it's blocked up. So you cannot cleanse the body because nothing can make it to the lymph nodes of the body because the river is backed up. So guess what happens? The cell starts coagulating or they start agglomerating, meaning the cell starts to stick themselves together because they have nowhere to go. And you're dealing with something called glucose, which is a sticky, gluey-like substance that's been fermented and it lacks oxygen. So the oxygen is not going to be able to keep it in there to keep the molecules separate. So clunks happen. Now you're clunking up cells inside of a river that we call interstitial fluid that you call the lymphatic fluid. Now you start getting aches and pains from this. Symptomology sets in. You see that thing start to burn because acid is sitting on your cells, burning up the lymphatic system. Acid is sitting on your blood, burning up the blood. Acid is sitting on your tongue, burning up your tongue. Remember, everything in your body is not working properly because you already been eating the wrong things that threw you out of balance, that threw you out of Mikha'el. So now from these symptoms, your body start to dehydrate itself and you start to feel the burning due to the nervous system and you go to the doctor. The doctor say, I see a lump. I check the microscope and I see a lump. I check the cells and I see something that's not, something is not right there. Is it okay if I do a biopsy? Mr. Anonymous, yes, it's okay. So they take a piece of the cell and then they take it to a pathologist. The pathologist then look at this cell under a microscope and what they're looking for is pathological entities. So once they find that the cell lacks oxygen, once they find that the cell is not shaped in this octagon structure, once they find and they see little bitty microorganisms rolling around inside the cells eating up everything, once they find the coagulation and the agglomeration of the cells, they say, oh, this person have cancer. If that location is in the pancreas, you have pancreas cancer. If that location is in the lymph nodes, you have lymphoma. If that is on the skin, you have skin cancer. It's in the liver, you have liver cancer. Remember, we only dealing with cells and two fluids. So then, now they want to say, you know what? It's in the lymph node. It's in the breast. Let's chop off the breast and let's take the lymph node. Hold on, stop. I thought the lymph nodes were supposed to be full of the bibifidal bacteria and the macrophages to break down the cancerous cells. So you let them take your lymph nodes. You let them hack and just take chemistry. And then what they do is they give you chemotherapy. Chemotherapy, which means chemical therapy when you're trying to stay away from the chemical therapy. And then you look at what the chemotherapy or chemical therapy is. It is 100% mustard gas derivatives. Do y'all know what mustard gas is? They use this in war, in Second World War, in the Vietnam War, to drop bombs on people to disintegrate your skin. It's so acidic that it will break down and deterioralize your whole mechanism within minutes. And they're putting these things into your body. And they're saying that this is a curative method for cancer. No, it's not. It actually causes cancer because any oxygen that you had left inside of the cells is no longer there anyway. You already didn't have any oxygen left because you was already labeled with cancer. Then you let them cut off your body parts, cut off your lymph nodes, which is the only way to heal the body. Then they give you chemotherapy, and that's how you die. Cancer don't kill you. You know what kills you? The treatment of cancer. Now, it's ways to get rid of these things because all we dealing with is with damaged cells from things that you've been putting in your body or things that you've been breathing into your body or the atmosphere that you're in or people that you've been associating with or thoughts that you've been entertaining. Now remember, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. How do you get rid of cancer? Hopefully y'all understand cancer now, and I think I broke that down pretty good. Now, let's talk about how you get rid of these things. The first thing is to change what you putting inside of your body. Notice that the food is what caused the cancer. And what I mean food, I'm not just talking about a physical substance that you can swallow, chew, and break down. Food, music is a form of food. The atmosphere is a form of food. Conversation is a form of food. Sex is a form of food. Skin to skin is a form of food. Radiation is a form of food. Television programming is a form of food. The way you raise books is a form of food. Food for thought. You read a book and it feeds you. You're breaking down the intellectual structure, and these things actually build up your nervous system. Build up the dendrites or the neural links. You see that? Everything around you is your form of food because your body is a bio vehicle that absorbs everything. Watch what you're putting in your skin. If you're using perfume and cologne, stop it. You see that? If you're taking baths inside of this tainted water, stop it. If you're drinking tainted water, stop it. We already breathing in acidic air enough. You don't need to be adding more to it. Then change your eating. Why are you eating things that you know that the microbiome cannot eat? These are single cell organisms. You need to eat simple foods. And guess what simple foods are? Your fruits, your berries, your melons, and a little greens. A little greens that is not complex like kale. Romaine is a good green that you can eat. Bok choy is a good green that you can eat. You see that certain turnip greens are good greens that you can eat. Kale is so complex. If you can, and I'm not saying you don't need kale. Kale is very good and have a lot of healing constituents in it. But make sure you juice it for you can break through the cellulose. Now, how to heal the body of cancer? Which cancer is nothing but mutating cells or damaged cells that's been stuck inside of the river system of the body that we call the lymphatic system. If the lymphatic system or the river of the body, or what we call the trash can of the body, is so stuffed up that it can't get to the waste station and drop the trash off, or what you're going to call through urine and feces or pooping and stuff like that, then you must unclog the drain. The drain is clogged up. The best way to unclog the drain, the first thing is to eat simple foods and rehydrate the body. The best way to hydrate the body is with H3O2, not H2O. H3O2 is actually water that comes from your fruit. So juice, and eat fruits, eat fruits, eat fruits. Juice. And what I mean by juicing, I mean get fresh fruits and you buy you a juicer and you juice it. You can spend $100 on Jordans. You can spend $1,100 in rent. If you can buy clothes and all this and all of that, I don't need to hear your excuses about how expensive a juice is. Do you want to live to enjoy the Jordans? Do you want to live to enjoy the rent? Do you want to live to enjoy your family, your children, and all of that? If you do, then start loving yourself and take these things serious. Because you ain't enjoying nothing when you're not in this body. You're going to be in a body somewhere else, failing another test again because you did not learn when you was here. So, go on all fruit diet. Do not let these people lie to you and tell you that fruit sugar spreads cancer. That is the most dumbest, I'm going to say this just one time because I'm serious. That is the most dumbest crock of shit that I done ever heard. How you think we done healed everybody that done came to us, which is thousands of people. We put them on a fruit sugar diet, y'all. A fruit sugar diet with some very powerful potent herbs. We never healed nobody of cancer with vegetables. We never healed nobody of cancer with meat. We never healed nobody of cancer with any of these things that these lying doctors are telling y'all. We put them on all fruits, berries, and melons that are full of oxygen, that are full of CO2, which is nothing but light cold frequencies, or what we're going to call fragmented light that comes from the sun, and it opens up the meridian pathways and it rebuilds the cellular structure. And we use potent herbs to plunge the body. I look at herbs like Drainax. It opens up the lymphatic system for the system can start draining, but you need to replace the good bacteria. You need to replace the microbiota because you done killed the microbiota. Now, the three bitters, my three bitters are good for the microbiota. For those that think I'm on here just to take your money, no, I'm not. I will give you some of the major healing constituents or herbs inside of my three bitters. Quassia chips, full of good bacteria. Full of good bacteria. Quassia chips, full of good bacteria. Valerian root, full of good bacteria to replace that good bacteria that you've been killing inside of your body. It just so happened that I used all these things and put them inside the three bitters. So you're going to have to replace the good bacteria for the bacteria to can get back inside the lymph nodes or the lymphatic system to start breaking down the chemistries, to start chewing and breaking down the acids. But there's no point of doing that if you're still taking in acidic forming foods. Get on an all raw fruit diet. You shouldn't be eating anything cooked if you got cancer. You shouldn't be eating anything cooked if you got cancer. You should be on things that's going to liquefy the body, things that's going to hydrate the body, and that is your fruits, that is your berries, and that is your melons. And while you're on the fruits and while you're on the berries and the melons, and you're hydrating your body, now you get the herbs, and you need the geogenetic level 1, 2, or 3. And inside my geogenetic level 1, 2, or 3, let me show you what I'm doing. What first thing we do is we make sure the blood cleans. I go after the blood and I cleanse the blood up, because when dealing with cancer, sometimes you start backing things up into your kitchen, and y'all know how it is. If your sewage system back up into the kitchen, you start contaminating the goodies. So I clean the blood up, make sure the blood clean. But while I'm cleansing the blood, my whole focus is going to be kidney filtration and cleansing and opening up the lymphatic system. See, the lymphatic system is stagnated and backed up because the kidneys is not working. And the reason that the kidneys are not working because the adrenal glands are no longer online. See, the adrenal glands is the main glands of the body. It's like the master glands of the body to me. Everybody say the pituitary gland is and the pineal gland. The pineal gland is the spiritual mastery of the body. But the adrenal glands is actually the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. Notice the prefix I said there. The prefix I said was auto. These things run on autopilot. You breathe, that's autonomic nervous system. You digest, that's autonomic nervous system. Your melanin neurotransmitters that's produced by the adrenal glands is what's going to tell that macrophager that is a foreign invader, go kill it right now. What's going to tell the lymphocytes, the monocytes, the basophils, the neutrophils, all the T cells, the B cells, that is foreign invaders, that is acid inside the body, to go kill them and get them outside of the body. So you're going to have to, it behooves you to open up the kidneys. But the only way to open up the kidneys to filtrate the lymphatic system, to keep it from being blocked like the Hoover Dam, is by turning on the pump to the filtration system, which is the adrenal glands. Now, the best way to get your adrenal glands back online, y'all, is licorice root. Licorice root. Get you some licorice root if you don't have high blood pressure. If you do have high blood pressure, get you some wild yam root and turn them adrenal glands back on. But you can only do it on an all-fruit diet. Now you have the melanin neurotransmitters communicating with the cells of the body again. So guess what? The kidneys get kicked on. Now, since the kidneys get kicked on, you got something called kidney filtration. Oh, snap. Now you can start really filtrating all the metabolic waste that's been built up inside the body. So now the floodgates open. So now you're urinating metabolic waste. Now you're urinating toxemia. Now you're urinating dead cells. Now you're urinating cancer cells. Uh-oh, I gotta poop. The herbs got me wanting to take a shit. Now you're pooping out toxemia. Now you're pooping out mucus that's not supposed to be there. Now you're pooping out all types of different cancerous cells. Now you're breaking down all the glomulation and the coagulation that we call tumors. All snaps, my thyroid working right because I done hydrated my thyroid. Let me turn my basal temperature up. Let me induce a fever. Let me induce cold and sweat and flu-like symptoms. Now you coughing. You coughing out these bad bacteria or these different entities that's not to be on there. Now you sneezing, hut-chew. Now you sneezing out these cells. Now you sneezing out these things. Oh, I got a runny nose. Now the mucus is coming from your nose. The mucus is coming from your ears. You getting rid of lymph at your root, from the rooter to the tutor. Lymph coming out your butt. Lymph coming out your penis. Lymph coming out your vagina. Lymph coming out your nose. Lymph coming out your ears. Lymph coming out your mouth. The floodgates are open because you just paid attention to the two most important parts of your body, which is the adrenal glands and the kidneys. Now you're filtering and you're sweating. You're sweating all the metabolic waste out of your skin because the thyroid is able to function properly and truly metabolize the acidic waste that is in the body. You're cleansing out your gut. You're cleansing your blood. You're cleansing the lymphatic system. And guess what? If you stick to this and you really, really do this and you stay with it for 2 months or so, you go back to the doctor gonna be like, well, hell, it is a miracle. You don't have tumors no more. You don't have cancers no more. And you did it without chemotherapy. You did it without surgery. You did it without letting them cut off your breasts, your body parts. Your integrity remained intact. Your righteousness and your mindset remained intact, because guess what you did? You did the simplest thing in nature. You just went back to Mother Nature. That's all you did. You went back to the beginning. You went back to the original diet that you've been supposed to been on. You went back to your true purpose being here. That's it. You understood that the cause and effect. You understood that if you violate nature, nature will violate you. You understood that if you jump off of this balcony right here, this is a long way down. This is cancer. If you jump off this balcony, guess what you're hitting? You're going to hit the floor. Oh, hold on. So is there any immunity in this? No, it's not. No, it's not. If you eat things that you're not supposed to be eating, your body will have to compensate for that. What goes around comes around. Karmatic law is real. Whatever a man soweth, he also shall reap. If you eat acids, guess what? You're going to get acids. Well, guess what acids do, family? Acid burns things. Acid burns your house down. Acid likes to bind things. It's called cellular welding, where your cells starts to literally stick and weld themselves together. Y'all see that? Ooh-wee. All because you was on the wrong side of chemistry. All because you was on the wrong side of chemistry, which is the acidic side, and you are supposed to be on the natural side of chemistry, which is the base side that we call alkalinity. Now, if you are suffering from cancer, family, reach out to me. Get on my website. Book a consultation with my staff. If you want to book a consultation with me, it's going to cost you more, but you can. If you want to pay that fee, we can heal you. We've been healing this for many, many years now. It is not a miracle. It's not this, it's not that. This is simply just going back to nature. What you need is my geogenetic therapy. That's what you need. 1, 2, or 3. And all the stages depend on is the progression of the cancer. The more cells become acidic and the more the cell is deprived of oxygen, that depends on the stage that they're gonna give it. If it's 66% oxygen, they're gonna say it's level 1. You got cancer and it's in stage 1. Once it gets to 70, they're gonna say that's level 2. Once the mucosal membrane starts to break down and the lymphatic system starts to deteriorate, that's level 3. The moment that it's done and complete, that's level 4, and you heading into AIDS. All cancer patients that always get the chemotherapy, that's what they head into. It sends them into AIDS shock. And what AIDS shock is when the lymphatic system is completely 100% deteriorated because all of the gnarly chemotherapy that they gave you. And guess what? The medicine that they give into HIV and AIDS patients, guess they're giving them chemotherapy as well. They just giving it to them in pill form. It's called a retrovirus therapy. Guess what they giving y'all? They're giving you chemotherapy, mustard gas. This stuff is deadly, y'all. If you need help, don't be afraid. Reach out. They already killing you. They're giving you chemotherapy. What is it going to cost you to just holler at me? You're not going to lose anything. You're going to benefit something reaching out to Yahki and the team. You're going to benefit something reaching out to other herbalists. Look, I'm not even talking about me. It's other healers out there as well. I am not the all and all, and I don't know everything. I'm not professing to be the greatest herbalist to ever do it, to ever be alive. But my methods damn sure work. My methods damn sure work. We got HIV healing cases under the belt, full-blown AIDS healing cases under the belts, so many cancers, thyroid, sickle cell anemia, leukemia, liver cancer, breast cancer. I mean, you name a disease. I didn't heal everything but blindness, literally. Well, let me not say that because, the allopathic community after me, the government be on my tip. So I'm going to say this. I ain't healed anything. The herbs and Mother Nature and the fruits and the herbs. And we done put the herbs and the fruits together in such a magnificent way that it cleanses the body of all these lying ass names. Because all them names of diseases I just named to y'all don't even exist. It's just the body responding to what you've been putting in it. Cause and effect, y'all. I can't say it enough. Cause and effect. There is no such thing as a labeled disease. The disease is your body being out of harmony. It's not easily fueled with energy no more, so it's in dis-ease because the body is spending all of its energy trying to heal itself from what you're putting inside of it. That's it. Get on the website, y'all. Get on the website. If you just read through the stuff. You don't even have to buy nothing. Just read through the information. Get a sense of me. Feel my spirit. See all this free information that I'm putting out for free. This is not for money. I love y'all. I want to see y'all healthy. I make millions without herbs. It's not a money thing with me. I get everything I want. I've been getting money. You see that? This is about the healing of our people, the healing of our nation. Read through that information and y'all can learn some things. I just gave y'all herbs to start with for free. You don't even have to buy them from me. You can go get them wherever you want to get them from. You can go get them from Mountain Robes, herbs. You can, if you want to get them off Amazon's, hey, I just told you what to get to even start the process. Go on an all fruit diet. Get you some licorice root to kick on your adrenals. If you got high blood pressure, get you some wild yam root. You see that? If you really want to pull and tug at them herbs, get you your cells. Get you some cleavers root. Cleavers are a very good lymphatic opener. Get you some plantain leaf. Plantain leaf is a very good lymphatic opener. You see that? Make sure you get you some greater burdock root to cleanse your blood in the process. That way you're not flooding or you're not backing up all your poop into your kitchen. You see that, and go on an all fruit diet and heal yourself, because you are God and you have the capability to heal yourself, and you're responsible for your own healing. Quit letting these murderers be responsible for healing your body, because they're going to kill you. And it happens time and time and time again. And if you don't want to be your own herbalist and you don't feel like doing all of that, then come to me. I make all these things ourselves. I got a whole staff. We done healed everything under the sun. All of our herbs are tested. All of our herbs are wild crafted and organic from the land of their origin, where they actually grew from, where Yahweh the Creator put them at. And we formalize and re-ratio all our things. Our whole production is in-house. We don't let nobody do nothing else outside of our chemistry, outside of our labs, outside of our herbal houses. We package these things. We pray over them. We put love on them, and we know what the heck we doing, y'all. You do not have to suffer for cancer, and you don't have to die from any disease. You just got to get your mind right, and you got to stay out of the complex of the mind. You got to get out of there. You got to go back to nature, where it's very simple at, and you know exactly what you need to do to heal your body. That is in nature. Get off the meat. Get off the beans. Get off the gluten. Get off the breads. Get off of all of these gnarly grains. Get on your fruits. Get on minimum vegetables. Get on some herbs and heal your body, because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself, and you deserve to be happy. You deserve healing. You deserve to be whole. You deserve to be complete. You deserve to be at peace. You deserve to fulfill and live your purpose. Do not let these people lie to you. Do not let these people kill you, because this is all about the dollar bills when it comes to the allopathic community. And that's why they're killing people like us. People that put their life on the line and try to, be that gap and that variance, or be the protector over y'all. They come take people like us away. So cherish us while we here. Make sure that y'all are listening. Make sure that y'all are sharing these messages, not only from me, but from other healers, because we are the star seeds that came to uplift humanity, to make sure that you live longer. And y'all can repay us for the sacrifice. It's not buying herbs. It's going to repay me. What's going to repay me is you stopping. I want you to not even be able to buy herbs, because you're eating correctly. You're eating clean. See, you don't need herbs when you eating correctly and you preventative maintenance. I would love for you to mess with me and say, Yahki, thank you for the information, and I applied it, and I don't even need to shop with you. That'll do me more of a pleasure than you coming to me on your deathbed spending thousands of dollars, and then I gotta pull you off your deathbed. When you say, Yahki, I heard you 3 years ago. I just changed my diet, and I am healthy as an ox right now. I am the happiest I ever been in my life. Me and my relationship with my wife or my husband is completely good. I am a great mother and father to my children. We travel often. I'm seeing the world. My spirituality is popping. My third eye is open. I am living an abundant, wholesome life, all because the information you gave me, Yahki. Thank you for that. I would rather you do that. I would rather you do that than to come to me sick on your deathbed, have to spend the last of your earnings just to get these expensive herbs, because they're so expensive, because I have some of the most powerful herbs in the world, y'all. No doubt, because where we go and where we get them from. I'd rather you just change your diet and change your mentality than have to spend money. You see that? That's it. So I hope I gave y'all the right amount of information. I hope I gave y'all good energy. I'm working on not yelling so much when I'm talking to y'all, because a lot of y'all feel guilty and feel like that I'm treating y'all like a child or something. Just because I be mad at y'all for how y'all are treating y'all bodies and how y'all treating yourselves. And, I get angry, and that's why I speak from so much passion like that. But I can redirect the passion. So I'm going to start speaking more in a calm spirit when I'm trying to relay a message to y'all, for y'all can actually embody the message more. I love y'all. I can't say it enough how much I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? We are the people. Let's heal our bodies. To all my healers that's out there that want to get down with the team. We're building a beautiful team, and we're expanding. Make sure y'all link up with me. Questions at YahkiAwaken.com. Link up with me. I'm looking for a private cameraman, because I'm always traveling. I'm always on the go. I got classes that we finna be doing. I need to record my herbal classes. I need to record my breathwork classes. I really need to record my cooking classes. So I'm looking for a cameraman. I'm willing to pay you up to $1,500 a week. All you got to do is be with me for 5 hours out of the day, but you have to travel with me, because I'm never at home. I'm always on the go, healing our people, healing football players and professional people and stuff, professional athletes and stuff like that. So if you want an exciting life, if you want to travel, if you want to see things, if you like luxury, if you want like riding in Benzes and Rolls Royces and just kicking it while having fun and healing people, and you know how to work a camera, you know how to edit, make sure you get at me, all right? With that being said, click the link in the bio. If y'all want to visit the website, click the link in the bio. If y'all want to follow me on Facebook, my Facebook page is Yahki Hickman. All right, Yahki Hickman. Follow me on TikTok under Yahki Awaken. It's the one where I got on my white suit. Shouts out to everybody that's sharing all of my videos on YouTube. YouTube and Yahki Awaken. Follow me on YouTube as well. Shouts out to everybody that's sharing my video on Instagram. Shouts out to everybody that's sharing all of my content on TikTok. Shouts out to everybody. I seen one TikTok video. I got over 1 million views, y'all. I mean, like, alignment. Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings. Y'all keep me aligned. Peace to the gods. Peace to the earth. And just follow me on all my platforms. They have been messing with me on Instagram. They took down 11 of my posts yesterday, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here. I'm gonna create a backup page, so make sure that y'all screen recording this stuff and share it everywhere. Share it everywhere, y'all. Share it everywhere. Click the link in the bio for the website. Click the link in the bio for all of my other different social medias. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Y'all send me good energy, and I'll always take care of y'all and send y'all good energy. All right, with that being said, I love y'all indeed in the truth. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth, peace, alignment.